by the shepherds that had seen the great thing that had happened. And so, as you see here in 15, that the shepherds go and see the thing that has happened, which the Lord has told them about. And when they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in the manger, when they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what has been told to them by the Lord and about this child. And all who heard it were amazed. They were amazed at what the shepherds had said to them. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told. So what we can take away here is that the Gospels have great power and great joy. The shepherds were the first people that had heard the good news and had seen the good news, and they were the first people to really go out and spread the early gospel and spread the joy of what had happened about Jesus being born in a manger. Jesus was the coming Messiah. And so Jesus, as he grew older, he spent time with God, and he was very intelligent and was growing. And as we see here in 41, the family went down to Jerusalem for the Passover, and they traveled in a caravan with a bunch of people. Jesus would have spent a lot of this time during the Passover with other kids his age, away from his parents. So they took off, leaving to go back home to Nazareth, and it says here that he could have been either at the back of the caravan with his father or at the front with his mother, and they both may have thought that Jesus was with the other. Jesus stayed in Jerusalem, and his parents were unaware of it. And so you're kind of like confused how that could happen. Well, they traveled in large caravans of people, like hundreds, maybe even thousands of people were leaving Jerusalem at the same time. Here in verse 46, that after 3 days they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. He was gone for 3 days, so a little bit of foreshadowing. But anyways, everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and his answers. My study Bible says that they weren't amazed at his youth, they were amazed at the depth of his knowledge. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you." And in 49, he says, "Why were you searching for me?" He asked, "Didn't you know I had to be in my father's house?" And this terminology had never been used before, and they were really confused. They thought Jesus was talking about Joseph. He went down to Nazareth with them, and he was obedient to them. So that's a very important thing to take away, kids, is that Jesus was obedient to his parents. But his mother treasured all these things in her heart, and Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and favor with God and man. From this point on, there is an 18-year gap in what is written about Jesus. So what we do know is that Joseph may have died during that time, and that Jesus became a carpenter and worked hard and was very good at being a carpenter. He may have worked on roads around there, around Nazareth. I think what we can take away from this is that Jesus was fully human and fully God. I just love my study Bible says here about Luke chapter 2, and I'm just going to say it to you guys just as it is. The second chapter of Luke shows us that although Jesus was unique, he had the normal childhood and adolescence. In terms of development, he went through the same progression we do. He grew physically and mentally. He related to other people, and he was loved by God. A fully human life is balanced. Thus, it was important to Jesus, and it should be important to all believers, to develop fully and harmoniously in each of these key areas: physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually. So I think that's what we need to take away from Luke 2 today. So enjoy your pumpkin spice coffees today, and go out, love God, and love people. Thank you.